Hey, what's up? Thanks for clicking the video. What's up, dude? How you doing? You want to learn some Protoss versus Terran at a diamond level? Well, guess what? Here, you click the right thing. Guess what? You're in it. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's get this diamond level lesson underway. PvT. PvT. Ready? Ready? Yeah, me too. Let's do it. Okay. So, we got ourselves a nice game here. Replay analysis. Basically what this is
I just won a cameo on the replay analysis.
Thank you, Lifesy. I appreciate the bits, dude. Basically what this is I'm going to help Pangaea Archon figure out what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, how can he get better, how can he not be so bad. Again, diamond level. So let's get it done, dude. Let's get it down. Also, I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, the video time is probably a little longer. It's probably closer to an hour, maybe even a bit over an hour. Who knows? So this might be a longer game, as I know it is already. So just throwing it out there. You're in for a bit of a treat here. A bit of a long one. We'll talk about later stages of the game as well. Yeah, anyways. We got ourselves a nice pylon gate gas. You chrono boosted your Nexus. You did, right? Let me make sure I'm not crazy. When did you chrono boost your Nexus? You did it right to the pylon, correct? You did it before the pylon. Okay, you're fucked up already. You're already fucked up. I was wondering. I was like, wait, this seems weird. Seems weird. Yeah, you chrono boosted before the pylon. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Chrono boost should be paired. First chrono boost happens when the first pylon is done. Second chrono boost happens when the second pylon is done. Because look at this shit. Look what you're doing. This is incorrect. Look at the Nexus. We're gonna first 2 minutes. First 2 minutes, okay? We're gonna really quickly add up every second that you miss a probe on. Okay? Every second. Well, okay, first 1 minute. At 12 seconds, your probe's done. You start another probe at 18 seconds. So you're already only 18 seconds into the game, and you've already missed 6 seconds out of 18 seconds in probe build time. That's not good already. And then you chrono boost. And you burned your chrono boost now, because you burned it before the Nexus is done, the pylon's done. Like the crazy thing is, here's the crazy thing. At 34 it finished. Fuck. Excuse me, sorry. Here's the crazy thing. You have just burned your chrono boost to be at 15 supply when the pylon's done. You could have been at the exact same supply without chrono boosting, and then had a chrono boost engage after the pylon was done. So building the pylon by cutting probes and then chrono boosting and catch back up on probes is a big no-no. Don't ever do that. Just keep making probes, build it as you have 100 minerals, the pylon, and then chrono boost when the pylon's done. So you're already behind. And 34 seconds was when the probe finished. The last probe. And this is chrono boost seconds as well, which are more impactful. We'll just say fuck that though. We're not going to incorporate those two. It's whatever. But just know you are wasting a chrono right now. 34 seconds. It's 2 seconds so far. 6 already. 2 and counting for this new one. "44 seconds. You start another probe. That's 10 fucking seconds. You have missed 16 seconds out of the first 44 building 0 probes. That's ridiculously massive. That's huge. That's so fucking important. That is not like, oh, who cares? That's huge. That's fucking huge. You can't get those seconds back. You can fuck them up, Sensei. No, guys, I can't. Like, people always do this shit, and they're like, why do I lose? And if you know, we can get to the point where we talk about your late game, but this is such a fucking terrible early game for no reason. 16 seconds of idle time in the first 44. That's more than a third. That's so much time is just wasted on the Nexus. Well, those are probes you never get back. That's time you don't get back ever. It's just you're behind. Like, what does your opponent have? I mean, your opponent's Terran. I mean, we're not gonna look at his base. I don't care. But yeah, that's a lot of time missed on the Nexus already. Not good. No bueno. Not good. And you should be hitting 400 minerals when you hit 20 supply. You're hitting 400 minerals when you're like at 18 supply. So your Nexus is already also, like, your probes are late, which is in turn going to make your Nexus late if you're doing it off of 20 supply and not off of your money. Like, your build, again, is falling behind. Your Nexus should already have been started, and you should have more probes than you do. And you're not building probes again. You stopped building the last probe at 132. You start another one at 136, 137. It's like another, we'll give you 4 seconds there. That's another 4 seconds again. So that's now fucking 20 seconds out of the first minute 37. This is fucking huge, man. There's no reason, literally no reason why this Nexus should ever not be building a probe. Ever. Do you do it again right now? You're doing it again right now. I think we're going to stop calculating the time on your Nexus because this is happening again. And it's already like another 8 seconds. And this one where I just paused it. And it's still counting. It's still going. That was like a 15 to 18 second window of time there where you did not build a probe. I didn't calculate it exactly. I didn't count it. But yeah. It was a lot of time. We're on a faster replay sped up timer, and that was a lot of time that passed without building a probe. You just have a fucked up build. Honestly. Like, I don't know why you don't build probes while doing other stuff, but get in the habit of doing that. That's all I can say about your early game. That's all it is. Just fucking build probes. Build probes. You should always be hitting 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Every time you're doing anything. Like when you pair that with something else, like scouting his base, hit 5, make a probe. Hit 5, make a probe. Hit 5, make a probe. Like, make sure you're making fucking probe. Look at the bottom of the screen over there, right there, where it says pylon, and the production time of that shit. Make fucking probes. If you don't make probes, like, your build is going to be garbage. That's how it works for everybody. You're honestly so far behind. And again, if you're going to go for a third base now, not obviously right now, but if you're going to play defensive and take a third with like a robo, let's say, let's just say that's what you're going to do. Why do you, don't rip off your mineral line. Fill in your gas after your mineral line, because look at your gas already. You have enough gas to make a stalker or an adept and a warp gate upgrade, which is all you can spend it on right now. So rushing your gas is pointless. You don't need to rush like a robo as fast as you can, like, and sacrifice your minerals to do it. Because if you're going to play defensive and expand, you want to prioritize minerals because, again, Nexus, Pylon, Probe, those are all mineral cost. And that's mostly, and also every gateway you make, it's all like heavy mineral expenses, shield batteries. They're all mineral expenses. So much mineral expenses, and it's light on the gas. You could easily just fill in the gas after your minerals are fully saturated. It's just too much of a fuck up with your economy already. The first 2 minutes of the game, you're already so far behind. Like, I feel like your build would get trashed in general by a player who plays standard and efficient. Unfortunately. And you're going defensive robo. Yeah, I like the choice. I like the choice of your units. It's all super out of order, though. It's all super out of order. Like, your second gate should go down around the same time as your robo. If we go back and, again, look at the idle time of your gateways, this gateway is going to be idle for a while. And it should be, because otherwise you won't be able to make probes anymore. Like, you won't be able to constantly make probes and also constantly make stalkers out of a gateway that's that fucking fast. If you're expanding this fast. So you should have made your second gate around the time when you start your third unit on your first gate, and that's around the same time when you, or like more like your second unit. Like in between the time when, like, if you're going like Stalker Sentry, like your gateway and your robo, the second gate and the robo should go down during the time the sentry is being built. Realistically. This gateway's so fast. And I'm gonna guaranteed see a lot more idle time on your Nexus, I guarantee it. Like, it's just gonna be idle time. Your gateways will go idle. Watch the gateways go idle now. Like, this shit is what's killing you, man. Just one gateway constantly producing is better than 2 gateways producing sometimes. Because you don't have to spend the extra expense then. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, you missed, like, look at this, look at this, look at this, watch. Watch. This is my point I'm trying to make here. This is so important. 339. We'll write this down. 339, first gateway. Goes idle. 343, second gateway. Goes idle. Let's watch and see how much time goes by before you actually build a unit again. Okay, you just started new units just now. A Stalker's build time is 30 seconds. A Sentry's build time is 26 seconds, whatever. You're making 2 Stalkers right now. So, 339, if we're talking a 30-second difference, you could have made a Stalker at 339, and it would have popped out at 409. And then you could have made another Stalker again behind that. But you let it go idle all the way to a point where you missed the majority of the Stalker's build time. You missed the majority of it. You missed 26 seconds of it. Or 24 seconds of it, rather. 24. You missed 24 seconds of build time on the first one, and you missed 19 seconds of build time on the second one, and you're making 2 Stalkers again. If you just had one gateway pumping, you'd have more money to work with, to do other shit with, that would be important. Like, take your third faster, or make another pylon, or whatever the fuck you got to do. Make your tech faster for your Robo Bay. But it's just inefficient. That's all it is. Also, I would say don't ever do this against Terran. It's so irrelevant. The amount of money you lose, if you... like, over-scouting and staying at his base longer, I'm not going to say that's the worst. If you actually scout him more, that's fine. But if you build a pylon in his mineral line, or like you make his command center be built to the left of it, the amount of money the Terran will lose to go lift, move, land is less than the amount of money you lose for the pylon dying. And the pylon can die to literally like a defensive marine. The fact that he's using a Hellion is... okay. But a marine could literally kill this fucking pylon. And the marine should not be attacking you right now either. It's like, what the fuck is one marine going to do that has no stim pack? And the reason why people make a marine is so that it can shove the probe away so it can't harass the SCV while it builds it. And then you can also put it into a bunker if you need to. So again, your build, dude, like look at your like it keeps happening repeatedly. Like look at the Nexus. Probe finishes at 442. 442 probe finishes. Probe starts again at 449. Or sorry, 459. That's 17 seconds again of no production. You don't build enough. That's your problem is you literally just AFK your build all the time. AFK, 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 AFK. That's your problem. Your build is inefficient as fuck because you just don't do anything. Like you need to get in the habit of 4, 5, 4, 5. Within every 5 seconds, check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. You don't have to do this all game. You do not have to do it all game, but you do have to do it in the start of the game, and you have to make it a repetitive action that you can do it without even thinking about it. You do it so much that you've got to a point where you can do it without even using your brain to go check it, check it, check it, check it. You just like subconsciously check it at that point because you do it so often. That's what you need. That's really what you need, honestly. Because, dude, you're behind. You are just behind right now. Like through and through. And then that definitely sucks ass. So here's another way I would give you a tip. I would say maybe put like one pylon. Maybe put like one, like for a lot of people would look at the game and go, all right, and I'm going to give you some ideas here in a second, but a lot of people would play this game out and be like this. What the fuck? Ghost drop? EMP my mineral line and then he one-shots my probes because they don't have shields? What the fuck is that? Well, how do I defend that? I'm super far behind now. You were behind from where you were behind yourself for where you could have been in this game already before that even attacked you, because you have such negligence of your buildings. Now that I want you to know that is, again, that is why shit like this, like anything like this where it's like, what the fuck, random thing attacked me, how do you deal with that? Just fucking macro. That's how you deal with 99% of shit in this game, is you just make shit and you have stuff to kill it no matter what it is. If you just had more stuff, you would be fine, honestly. Now that's number one. That's a big one. People love to just disregard that. People love to disregard that. But that is number one. That is the golden rule of this game, is just fucking macro. It's just macro. I'm sorry for swearing. I'm sorry for swearing, okay? I'm passionate. Number two. Build your pylons around your base a bit better. Like, one pylon next to the nexus. Like this pylon right here was fine. One pylon next to this nexus for the shield battery. I think the shield battery is fine. That would have been fine. This pylon could have been like right there. This pylon could be like either right here or like right there. Either way is fine. This pylon could be like right here or like right there. This pylon could be like right there or like right there. So you could see further out. You want to put pylons on the edge of your base against Terran. It's nice because it totally makes it a lot easier to deal with medevac harass. No matter if it's widow mines, ghosts. Nobody goes ghosts. It doesn't matter that there was ghosts in here. If you just had stalkers in the area, this would have done nothing. But anything medevac wise that harasses you, Hellion, widow mine, anything, Marine, Marauder, whatever the fuck it is, if you just have vision of it and you go, oh look, he's attacking me, you can easily walk to it and defend it before it gets into your mineral line. You just don't like, you have, look, watch the medevac disappear right here and you'll never see it again. It disappears. Okay, well your stalkers kind of chased it, but we'll go back to when it showed up. How about that? When do you see it when it shows up? You don't see it until, right? It's coming. It's almost here. Any second now. It's coming right there. You don't see it until it's like already like over the edge of your base. Like it's literally over the lip of that part already, but it's like so close to your mineral line already. You have a very limited, he just started boosting as well. You have a very limited amount of time to react to this. If you had a pylon like right there instead, you could have seen this medevac when it was like right there. And that would have been before he boosted as well. He boosted probably like right there. You would have had, like, literally look at this. I guarantee if you had a pylon right here, you would see his medevac about right there. There to there. Okay? Now let's back it up and let's look at and see at that exact point right there. How far away is the medevac? At like what second of the game is the medevac here when it crosses over that? Right here. You would see it like right now. 457. If your pylon was like right here, I guarantee you would see this medevac right now. 457. And when do you actually see it? You see it at like 5:01 or like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So you would have had 3 more seconds to react to it. And now how long does it take you to react to this? Let's see. So 5 minutes is when you see it. How long does it take your units to move? It took 5 seconds to move. It took you 5 seconds to react to it. Now, there's a chance you might have reacted to it when it goes, our workers are under attack. That is a thing. That's fine. So you might not have reacted to it either way, which would make me say you need to probably watch the minimap a little bit more then. Especially at a phase of the game like this right now in PvT. This is like very standard for Protosses at this stage of the game. But check this out. We'll go back to like 4:57 when the medevac was at that point, when I was talking about how the medevac would have been spotted, like right here. Literally, like you would have seen it with the pylon right there. You would have seen the medevac. Took you 5 seconds to react, right? Imagine if you had 5 seconds from now to react. So at 5:02, you would react to it. Because, again, it took you 5 seconds to react. So let's say it takes you 5 seconds to react. 5:02. If it took you 5 seconds to react to it, and it wasn't just our workers are under attack, you would be reacting to it before your probes are dead. So something as simple as, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just something as simple as just build your pylons closer to the edge of your base, so that you can see, and also definitely do it on the lips or like the peninsula that is on the edge of the drop area. Definitely build one like right there. That is a great spot. Definitely build one either like right there or like right there, and then maybe another one like right there. These are great drop spots. He will fly shit over here. You have the right idea with this pylon. You have the complete wrong idea with this pylon. It's way too centralized. It's nice for Fog of War reveal up here, but it does nothing for Fog of War reveal where the drop actually will be, which is the airspace. Like, he's not going to drop you here. You know what I mean? He's going to drop you here. So definitely reveal that with a pylon. Yeah, and it's literally, that's simple as that. Just fix it that way, and now you can actually spot little dots on the minimap of your opponent coming at a further distance. Like, that sucks though. That's pretty awful what just happened to you right there. The fact that he's going ghost is not that scary. Like, what is happening now? Oof. What is happening? And you're going for a third base defensively. I don't mind that you're going for a third base, but your biggest problem is your macro. It has nothing to do with your build. It's all about your macro. It's all your macro. I feel like you're probably just feeling like overwhelmed and it's pacing faster than you feel comfortable with, which is okay. Like, you'll get better over time. I'm not gonna beat you over the head with that, but your macro needs improvement. Like, you're not built. Okay, you built the probe again now. You're not building probes here. Like, why? Like, this is that shit where I'd be like, why? Why are we not building probes? This is priority number 1 right now. Not only because you're trying to expand, it already is priority number 1 because you're expanding. But it's also priority number 1, like high priority number 1, because you just lost probes. So like, why? You definitely need to be like chrono boosting your Nexus. Like, fix that shit ASAP. You should be chrono boosting probes either way, to be honest, because you're just going for an expansion build. You're like doing a macro build, but not doing a macro build at the same time, essentially. And you have no, like, everything's so idle. Like, I feel like what just happened there was everything just got disrupted. And now everything's just like, oh, shit. Like, everything's just up in the air. It doesn't make sense. Everything feels awkward. I get it. You're probably a little stressed out by the fact that the ghost just attacked you. I understand. But, like, your gateways and your robo have been idle for fucking so long now. And I'm going to throw this out there and say, if you, if you're going to go for a third base, this is what I would say is greedy. This is how I play PvT. This is fucking greedy to expand against Terran this fast. It's doable, but it's greedy. And what you're doing is you're going for 2 gateways. You're going 2 gateways. Also, hold on. Yo, Bob Dole, I don't want you to make him feel bad, dude. I love you, man. I'm gonna ban you for 1 hour. I feel like you're drunk right now, and you're just like being obnoxious. And I personally don't mind, but I don't want you to make Pangaricon feel bad. Because I mean, he purchased this, so I'm not gonna fucking ban him. I will ban you though for 1 hour. You can come back when that hour is over. I just want you to detox a little bit. You seem like you're fucking drunk right now. I love you, Bob Dole. I fucking love you, man.
Unban the drunk.
It was, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just teaching someone. Now, thank you as well for the bits, Leafsy. So, at this point in time, what you need to be doing for this greedy playstyle to not fall apart, essentially, unban him. Okay, Bob Dole, I'll unban you. Okay. This is a replay analysis, so it's not super like coaching lesson. It's okay. I can take a detour. How do I spell his name? Is it there's a one in there, isn't there? Fuck. How do I spell his name? Oh, it's a 0. Thank you. Good job, Adapt. Okay, Bob Dole, you're back. I unbanned you. But if you do it again, dude, I'll probably ban you for an hour. Just for an hour. Just because I don't want you to make him feel bad.
This is for chat. Love you guys.
Thank you, Leafsy. So, long story short, Pangaricon, if you go for a build like this where you go fast third base with Robo Opener into a fast Robo Bay, you have to prioritize. As soon as you make the Robo facility, you need to immediately start a Robo Bay, like right after. And then after that, you need to make a fucking unit. Like, just make a unit. Because, like, right now, if this dude attacked you, if he attacked you, you'd just die. You would literally just die. No Disruptor, no Colossus. You would just die. Like, you have to have AoE to not die. So, you're kind of missing the beat on what's priority here as well. Also, don't ever do that either. Don't ever make stalkers in the Liberation Field. Like, you should have honestly just pulled your probes away and made stalkers like right there and ran around the Liberation Field and attacked it. If this dude focus fired, he could have one-shot both your stalkers with the Liberator. You definitely need to move out of those Liberation Fields. Like, that shit hits fucking... A Liberator can almost two-shot a stalker. It really does three-shot it. Once you have weapon upgrades, though, which he definitely won't have yet, it will then two-shot it. But it does 75 damage, and a Stalker has 160 hit points. So a Stalker will live with 10 hit points, essentially. It's not exactly, because you have to account for the fact that it has armor. But you get my point. It hits fucking hard. It's not worth standing in the fields if you don't have to. And definitely don't ever warp in the field, either. That's like last resort. If you had no other option, then yeah, you could do it. But don't ever do that just because you're lazy. And notice how you're still not making anything on the Robo. 7.5 minutes in, and you have made nothing out of the Robo. You are just not building shit. And you're making static D now. You're making cannons and batteries everywhere. And you're not making probes. You have 44 probes at 8 minutes. You're just not macroing. Again, you're not macroing. That's your biggest problem. Like, I can't stress it. I have to stress it repeatedly because I can't stress it enough how much of a problem this is. This is why, if you're Diamond and you're like hard stuck in Diamond forever with Protoss, this is why. You have to fucking macro. You can't have these hiccups where it's like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Because right now, the only reason why this guy doesn't straight up just walk over you and kill you right now is because he's having the same problem as you, which is why you're both stuck in Diamond. If either one of you just macroed, you would fucking destroy the other player. It's like unacceptable that you both are at 9 minutes and you're both under 100 supply still, and barely anything has happened this game. I would say that's barely, like, you lost a few probes. He lost like some shit. I don't even know what you killed, really, honestly. Like Liberator and something else. You guys have both killed about a 1,400 resources worth of units up to this point, and you're both at like 80 to 90 supply right now. That's so low. Like, I feel like if one of you just macroed, one of you could be like at 150 right now while taking losses like this. You're not building shit for a long time again. See what I mean though? Like it's been a full minute. It's been about a minute since I last paused it, and your supply has gone up 8. You have gone up 8 supply in a minute. At this point in the game, when you're supposed to be on fully saturated 3 base, 8 supply in a minute is like nothing. And the reason why you're not going up in supply is because you're not building anything except for more gateways, more cannons, more batteries, more pylons, more forges, more tech. Like you're just not building anything. You have not built a single fucking unit out of this robo the entire game. That is required for a robo bay. You have had this robo. You started this robo at like 3 minutes. And since 3 minutes in this game, you've made an observer and an immortal. And that is a 21-second build time unit and a 39-second build time unit. So that's 1 minute together. You have built, since about 3 minutes in, you have built 1 minute worth of production in the terms of an immortal and an observer, and it's been 6 minutes, going on 7 minutes soon, of nothing else literally going on in this robo. You just don't build shit. Like I'm gonna keep saying it again and again and again, because honestly, I'm gonna keep, again, I say this all the time, but it's so fucking true. I'm gonna finish the replay, but I'm gonna tell you right now, everything in this replay from this point on is fucking irrelevant. This is your real problem. If you think to yourself in the later on in the stage of the replay, let's say this guy goes for battle cruisers, and you're like, well, how the fuck do you have battle cruisers, dude? It's irrelevant, because you could deal with it fucking sentries if you had enough supply. You could literally kill BCs with sentries if you just macroed enough, which is like the fucking worst unit you could make against a battlecruiser. You could deal with it with stalkers. You could beat it with Phoenix. You could beat it with Void Rays. You could beat it with carriers. You could beat it with Tempest. You could beat it with fucking anything if you wanted to, if you just macro. So if I were to tell you, oh, you know what really is good against BCs? Tempest and like stalkers. And you're like, well, I still lost though. I'd be like, well, why do you have 120 supply at 14 minutes in the game? Like, that's so late. Or, you know, shit like that. You're not building probes again. You're stopping your probe count at 67. And you're not building them again. And you're taking a 4th base. And you're not building any probes at all now. You're losing probes. You've just lost another round of probes. A second ago, you had lost 18. Now you've lost another 11. So you lost 11 more probes in that attack just now. And you're still not making probes. You're waiting until everything dies, and then how long does it take? You just killed it at like 11:12. And what happens as soon as it dies? Or like 11:13 or whatever. You start making probes as soon as it's dead. You tunnel vision way too hard. You need to just get in the habit of macroing as your priority, not microing. And I guarantee microing this game has been your priority multiple times, which is why, if I honestly, I guarantee if I were to go back and be like, why was your first probe not being built when you built it? Because you were sending your probe to scout his base. Why was your second time when you built your probe not being built? Why was there a second idle time in your Nexus when there was no build time happening? It's because you probably microed your probe to build a pylon to block his command center. Why was the next time you weren't building probes? It was probably because a stalker was like chasing a fucking Reaper or some shit, or like a Marine, or you moved a stalker to a certain area to like try and go scout something or just check something. You always fucking move your units when you don't macro, and this is what everybody does. Everybody gets like that has problems macroing. They always overemphasize army, like in terms of controlling it, which means you just don't make enough of it. You should only be able to micro your units once you can macro fucking like a zombie. You should be able to just drool on your keyboard and be like, ugh, macro, and then you just max out at 10 minutes. And you don't even use your brain. That's the level of macro you should be at, where you could turn your brain fucking off and still max out at a good time. Not fucking max out at 15 minutes. Or, again, like, You're at 11:15 and you're at 119 supply. This is ridiculously slow. And it has nothing to do with the pressure as well that has happened this game. Now you're getting nuked. If you get nuked, it's fine. You got nuked. It sucks, right? But like, it's just another. That's another thing that's gonna give you a hiccup, right? Where it's like, fuck, that sucks. If you wanna tip really quick on nuke defense, check this out. Watch this. Listen. If you don't do this already, just do this. Make your life easy and just do this. Watch. Turn your volume up a little bit and do like maybe 30, 40% or something. Watch this. You want to know a trick to beating a nuke? Okay. You go like this. You get nuked. You know what your eyes should do? Always, 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 always. This is how you should go against nukes. Do not look at your army. Do not ever have your army in the middle of nowhere like this either, by the way. I don't know what the fuck the positioning of this army is, but it's really bad. But you should go like this. Base, base, base. What are my outer... Don't look at your main base. Look at your outer bases. And also, think to yourself, where did I put static D? If you put static D in your bases, look on the edge of your base then. He can't have a fucking ghost standing like right here and nuking your mineral line. A nuke's range, if a ghost was standing like right here on this circle, a nuke's range is like that far. It's about like 10 range. So don't think a nuke can be cast from like right here and the nuke is suddenly like way the fuck over here. Like it's not super far away. It's literally like 10 fucking range. It's a little bit bigger than like a cannon's auto attack radius is 7 range. So a cannon can shoot about that far right there. A nuke could be cast about that far. It's not much of a difference. So the point I'm trying to make here is if you have static D like this base is clearly not getting nuked in the mineral line because these cannons would shut it down. So if you did look at this base and a nuke was being cast, you would probably want to look like right around here, maybe like right here, or like right around here, or like right around here. The outside of your nexus. You would not look inside your nexus. If you understand the range of units and the range of things, you would probably not want to look in your main base. Because it's unrealistic if your army was standing like here, like it should have been, that the ghost would have walked by your fucking stalkers. I would say you usually want to check the most exposed base first. And if your army was standing like right here, honestly, like I feel like it should be like right here. What is the most exposed base you have? It's top middle. That's number 1. And again, remember what I said? Do you remember what I said? You have cannons again. So where would the nuke probably be? It's not going to be in the back of your mineral line. It's not going to be up in here. It's probably going to be on the edge of your nexus because the cannon zones him out. You can see the nuke right there. Oh, you can even see the ghost. Yeah. Your vision even sees the ghost because he's in range of the cannon detection radius. Yo, Peepoo Man, thank you very much for the sub, dude. What up? Thank you, man. Step number 1 is being logical about it. Like, logically breaking down what makes sense where I could be getting nuked at. Now, here's number 2. This is a big one. This is why I told you to turn your volume up if you don't have it already up. And if you don't listen to music and you just have game sounds on, listen. Just listen. Ready? You're like, nothing. Nothing. Nuke. Okay, I think it didn't work because I had the game on faster speed. Hold on. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Just listen. We'll leave it here for a second and just listen, okay? I want you to listen. Nuclear launch detected. We heard nuclear launch detected. Now listen. So your gateways kind of covered that sound a little bit, which made that a little harder to hear. But do you hear the noise? Do you hear it? I'll do it again. Listen for it. Listen, for real. Like you can hear it. Listen. It starts off faint and it gets louder as it gets ready to drop. The fucking gateways are really annoying. The point I'm trying to make here is is if you, for whatever reason, cannot fucking spot that red dot and you're like, where is it? Where is it? Where's the fucking dot? People Man, thank you so much for the gifted sub, dude. I appreciate you. Thank you, People Man. Yo, Chancellor, welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome. Thank you, People Man. If you can't find the red dot, if you cannot find the red dot, you can hear it as well. So if you're at this base and you hear nothing, if you're at this base and you hear nothing, and you're at this base and you hear, you know the nuke is here, and probably get the fuck out of there. But you should use, so using your ears is like a backup. Using your eyes is the priority. You should be able to logically understand where the red dot should be based off of static D or no static D, lack thereof. And understanding that is a big deal. If there's no static D, you want to know where Protoss is, or not Protoss is. You want to know where you're going to get nuked if you have no static D? In your fucking mineral line or directly on top of the Nexus. I guarantee it. It's going to be on the Nexus or in the mineral line. If you have no static D, that is where he's going to nuke you. You know why he's going to nuke you like that? Because it's going to kill every fucking probe. And that's great. If you can nuke like that, that's amazing. And 22 probes fucking die. Or really 20, because 2 of them will be in the gas when it drops. So those don't die. But everyone else would die. 20 probes dead? That's amazing. That's a fucking wonderful nuke. If you have a static D structure, though, he can't stand on a fucking cannon and then nuke your mineral line. He will nuke you on the edge of your base, away from, like, out of range of the cannons. So it makes it obvious to know now, if you're looking for a nuke, look in that area. That's how that goes. You just have to, again, this is not something I would expect someone in Diamond to understand. I would never expect that. These are things that you'll have to, like, logically think about shit. You should just, like, try to, like, understand it and then build on it from there. Like, you know, this is something like, well, now you can know how to look for nukes, and if the nukes continue to happen to you in the future, instead of going nuke, 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 like just panicking, where is it? I don't fucking know. I'm gonna die. Just logically go, oh, it's a nuke. Let's use our brain and go, well, okay, look here, because static D's there. Look here, because static D's there. No static D's here, look at the mineral line. No static D's here in the front, look at the mineral line. Like, you can train your eyes to look at certain spots. Like, instead of looking everywhere and trying to figure out, you look at logical locations. And it suddenly makes looking for a nuke go, like, way faster. It's like snap, 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 snap. Like, there's just, you can find it within fucking seconds rather than finding it before it's dropping, and then you're like, well, I couldn't find it, so everything just died. That sucks. It just there's logical ways people will use their units, and I feel like the only way you won't understand this concept is if you have no concept of the range of things. If you think a ghost can nuke your mineral line right there from over here, that's impossible. That doesn't work like that. If a ghost were to cast a nuke right there, between those two probes, the ghost would be standing right about behind that gas. Like right there where the mouse is right now. He would be standing right there to cast a nuke between the two probes at the edge of the green box. That is how far he could cast a nuke. It's not like fucking across the world. So you just have to understand the range of shit. That's all it is. But like, again, the nuke happening to you, this is minor. This is just a tip I'm trying to offer people in general. Just logical thinking about how to deal with nukes, because I feel like most people have no fucking clue how to deal with nukes. But yeah, it's just logical thinking. You just have to break it down, like what makes sense. And the fact is, you even saw the ghost. So that would tell me that, just like the medevac earlier, you do not have enough minimap awareness. So it's just more about training your eyes, right? About training your eyes in the bottom middle of the screen, so you can rotate around parts in the bottom of the screen, like your macro. Maybe check the minimap every once in a while. Just get in the habit of like glancing the minimap, and check top right as well, just to make sure you're not going to supply block and shit like that. You haven't supply blocked this game, but you did oversupply a lot. You have had a constant cushion of supply that has been like 70% more than what you need. Like you, for instance, when you're at like 35 supply, you had like 70 supply in total. It was like, holy fuck, dude. You're like doubling your supply right now. You only need to have like 15 supply cushion there, not 35. And when now you're at 116, you have a fucking 64 supply cushion. That's huge. You don't need that much right now. Like, according to your actual supply, right? Realistically, if you're at 116 supply, your max should be like 130 to like 140, not 180. But again, you're pacing super slow this game, so don't forget about that. You should already be maxed, honestly, right now. But yeah, you get the point. We talked about that earlier too. All right. Anyways. And here's a great tip too. If you fight against nukes and you're like always annoyed by nukes, you know what you can do? Make like pylon, cannon on this ramp right here. Make pylon, cannon in this doorway right here. Make pylon, cannon in this doorway right here. And you know what that does? And if you mine these out as well is what I'm saying. You know what that does though? If you make pylon, cannon in the doorways to your base, ghosts cannot walk past that and then nuke your mineral line. So if you were getting nuked then, and you had every entrance to your base covered by pylon, cannon, 2 cannons and a pylon, you would basically, every time you get nuked from then on, never have to look at this base, main base. They would all be irrelevant. The only way he could nuke you at that point in these bases is if a medevac dropped you. That's it. Otherwise, every nuke would either be at the doors of your base, he would be nuking the actual cannon battery, or cannon pylon, or he'd be nuking out in front somewhere else, like this base if you owned it or whatever. So anyway, we'll move on from the nuke shit now, but yeah, logical thinking, right? That's all it is. And yeah, you're, again, like, this is the part I can stress 500 times repeatedly. You have not made a single fucking Robo Bay unit. What did I just do? Whoops. Sorry. My bad. Didn't mean to do that. You have not made a single Robo Bay. Or you made one. Sorry. You made one Colossus. You've made one Colossus and you now have 2 Robos. And you've had the first Robo since 3 minutes. You've made 1 Colossus in 12.5 minutes. That is unacceptable. Watch your production here at the bottom of the screen right now. Watch how idle it is constantly. Okay, you did gateways. Good job. But what about these? What about Stargate and fucking Robo? What is happening with that? It's just idle. Here comes your gateways again. You're fixated on this medevac, so are you going to macro? You made Stargate units. I imagine because it's annoying as fuck that there's a medevac sitting up there. Like, this is faster, sped up game speed, but there's so much idle time happening repeatedly on your production again and again and again, and you're not maxed out. And again, the biggest one of all is you haven't even fucking touched your robos, like, ever. You've barely done anything with your robos. It's like you forgot they exist. And you're getting nuked again. And yeah. I'll give you guys this example one more time in terms of just the sound, just because there's no gateways warping in. Listen to it this time. This will be a good example for this, because this is like this is most of the time what will happen to you when you get nuked. Just listen. You also saw the ghost. Like, you saw the ghost. You need some better minimap awareness. So you're getting nuked. You walk right by it.
Prismatic core online.
You hear it that time? I imagine you guys could hear it that time. It's very loud. Like if you just know what to listen for, it makes it super obvious when you hear it. You're like, oh fuck, get out of that base. Like, get away from there. Like, nukes aren't the whole fucking screen either. Like, this nuke radius is like this big. Seriously, it's like this big right here, about that green box. If you were to like round the edges of the green box off so it's a circle, that's about how big the nuke is. It's not ridiculously large. Like, it didn't even kill your pylon here. It doesn't even touch the cannon. It landed right there, and it doesn't even hit this cannon. It didn't even kill the battery. The nuke hits harder in the epicenter, like in the dust area. That is the hardest damaging spot of the nuke, but it will do enough damage to kill every worker. It does easily do 40 damage everywhere if you're in the radius of it at all. But you don't have to run very, like, look at these probes. You can see the nuke clearly reached out this far where these probes exploded. But like right there, it didn't reach that far. So it's not that huge. You just got to run away for a second. Okay. But again, your macro is your problem, man. It's your macro. So much idle. Okay, we're gonna speed this up now. Because like your macro is just being neglected the whole fucking time. Okay, so this guy, it seems like nuking you is gonna just be a trend the whole game. So yeah, do what I said a second ago. Do yourself a favor and put cannon, battery, pylon, cannon at your doorways. This is a doorway. Like, 'cause look at this. Think about it like a fucking a maze or some shit. Like if this Terran was like starting over here, and it was like, all right, go to the Protos's main base. He could go like this. Here is an entrance. Here is an entrance. Here is an entrance. If you put cannon, battery at all three of them, how the fuck does he walk into your base? How does that happen? It can't. He cannot physically walk to your base if you put static D at each doorway into your base. He can't get there. So if he fucking nukes you, it's going to be the doorway itself, which you can then go kill the ghost at. You should always be able to have time to go kill the ghost if you're playing defensive anyways. And if it nukes you and you're not in position and you're like, well, it's going to kill my buildings, just kill him after he kills the buildings. That's fine. And then just rebuild them. It's not that expensive to lose 2 cannons and a pylon versus a nuke and a ghost dying. It's actually not a bad trade. It's only bad trade when you keep losing fuckloads of probes every time. And then suddenly that means your first 4 bases are no longer a factor to be nuked. And then all you have to look at every time a base gets nuked, you go, is this base okay? Because this base is more exposed. He nuked you again. Did he nuke probes again the second time? Not really. I mean, some of them I think did die, but you pulled most of them away. Okay, we're gonna back it up for a second here. Yeah, I think you're falling apart. It's okay. This is what happens though in StarCraft 2. You fall apart. The weaker your early game is, the more it feels like you fall apart in the late game. So this late game for you, I agree, it's obnoxious as fuck because you've let it get to this much of an obnoxious situation. Like you have low supply. You both are going low economy, low supply. Your opponent just likes to play styles where he likes to nuke you and drop window mines repeatedly, which is just annoying. And he likes to make liberators go harass you. He's all about killing your workers over and over and over. It's annoying. And the way he does it's annoying. But if you just had army, you'd be fine. And here's the thing too. At this point, you do have an army, right? You do. But you have no fucking bank. You have a really bad bank comparatively to your opponent. And the reason why is because you've taken... This isn't even that bad. Surprisingly. I thought this was going to be way worse for you. You just don't mind as much as your opponent does. Mainly because you don't have mules, and you also like you're letting their Terran keep up with you in workers, but Terran has mules and you don't. Like you should definitely be hitting that like 80 range, like ASAP. It's just your macro's fucked. That's all I can say. Like it really is a fucked up macro situation. That was a good storm. And you have to listen for that shit. Like, you just heard nuke again. And if you're attacking someone's base, again, logic, right? Logic. Think about where you're getting nuked. If you were to, just for a quick fucking second, were to back up your army and look at the area you're fighting at, and you see that red dot going, you would be able to know that you're getting nuked. And if you pay really close attention, if you see a ghost doing this, he's nuking you. And you know what ghost I see doing that? That guy right there. This motherfucker is nuking you. He is kneeled down, pointing his gun in that area. And he is not ever having an attack animation going like, reload, reload. Like, he's just sitting there, pointing a fucking laser. That dude is fucking nuking you right now. So if you don't move, I can clearly see you're gonna get fucking nuked right now. You are so fucking lucky. That nuke was like a second from dropping. You just need to pay more attention to that. You killed it, but holy fuck, that was close. Now, talking about nukes aside, okay? Nukes aside. Nukes aside. Here's what I would ask you, okay? This is what I would honestly ask you. What made you attack the Terran there? What made you attack specifically right here? Is it because you got a juicy-ass storm right there? Like, let's honestly think about this for a second. If you fight the Terran and you're moving around his bases, what are you doing right now? You're checking for expansions, right? Why, if you get a juicy storm right here, right now, so far, this is fine. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. I don't mind it. It's not that bad. He retreats. You blink forward. You pick off his liberators. You pick off a couple tanks. You pick off some of his ghosts. He EMPs your whole fucking army, pretty much. He loses ghosts for it. He's not punishing you for it. He's a little weak. You're running into tanks. You're running into more tanks. I would say the second you saw these tanks, why not just back up and go like this? Now, I'm going to hit everyone's vision really fast and go, is there a base here? Yes, there is. You could also have gone to this base. There's no reason why you should have pushed into his natural right now. You are playing super impatient when you play like that because you have expansions, he has expansions, and you're just fucking... You have control of the game right now. He just gave it to you by having a bad fight, but you're completely throwing that in the fucking garbage to just try and kill him now. You have to realize that if you kill him right now, if you just straight up run over his fucking army right now, yeah, you're going to win the game. Yes, that does mean that. It makes sense. But why give him the advantage of giving him the ability to fight you in a choke point where he's set up with his production and he's going to have tanks set up on you and a bunker and whatever else? He's got like the ability to reinforce his army really fast here. Why give him the advantage to do that? To give him a better chance to defend himself? When if you just use this opportunity of having a lead to then quickly rotate to an expansion and kill his fucking money. If you kill this economy, and you kill this economy, and you kill this economy when you have the lead, or at the very least you kill one of the bases, and then expand again, he runs out of money to produce shit anymore. Because look at this. He's mined out. He's mining out pretty soon. Not much is left here. He's got a decent amount here. This base is still going for a little bit. I don't know fucking how. It's 16 and a half minutes in the game. But he doesn't have a ton of money to work with if you just starve him. And you have the ability to do that because you just broke him a little bit. He still has a formidable army. He's not fully dead right now, clearly, because he defends the fight. He kills your whole army here. But you have the advantage, so you might as well use it. You just basically got impatient as fuck, and you just went for... You like smelled blood, and you were like, let's go! Get it! And you just ate fucking... You literally ate siege tanks to the face over and over. Like, who gives a fuck about the bio that much? Watch your stalkers just explode over and over and over to tanks. The bio actually kind of does matter too, because this is a lot of stalkers. This is like pure stalker. There's a fuckload of marauders here. There's so many marauders here. That's also really bad for you. Just look how fast your stalkers just die. Like, even... Here's the crazy thing. You probably, honestly, you probably would have won that fight as well if you just blinked on his army again. You literally, what you did there was you gave yourself a position where you fought in a choke point on the ramp where he had the concave to your convex, and you just let stalkers one at a time reinforce. It was like the fucking red codes, dude. It's like, and then they just fucking die, and it's like, next guy in line, go up there. And he's like, okay. Like, you didn't fucking, you just like let them die repeatedly, and like your next guy walked over the dead body and was like, I'm in position to die now. Not the greatest micro there at all. Like, backing up would have been the best option, but you literally just let your stalkers concave in a little tiny line and walk into death over and over and over and over and over. So you should, like, honestly, you should have just blinked on him. You should have just blinked on him. And then at least you would have had all your stalkers firing. Because what? Here's the big one. Watch this. Watch the fight, okay? So now don't just watch the stalkers dying. Don't watch the stalkers dying. Watch how many stalkers walk in the back like fucking morons. How they're like, excuse me, wait, I want to go in the front and die. Wait, you're not dead yet? Okay, I'll wait for you to die. Okay, now I'm going to go die. Okay, now I'm dead. Okay, now you can go. Watch how many stalkers in the back are just like, they're just idiots. Look at this. Watch your stalkers. Look at your moron stalkers. They literally just walk one at a time to go die. You picked like the worst fucking location to fight at. Just don't get impatient. Just do not get impatient. Take advantage. You threw the game really hard right there. Take advantage of opportunities when you have it and go kill expansions. That's all it is. Sorry for being brutal there, but yeah. No, it's true though. Like, it's such a waste. That was such a wasted opportunity right there. And now you've let yourself now fall in a position where you're behind again. And why are you behind? You're a 5 base Protoss versus a 6 base Terran. That's not fucking good. That's not good. And you also have less workers than he does on top of that. Like, he's got the ability to drop mules and has more probes or more SCVs than you have probes. That's really not good. I would say you need to also scout the map a lot more. You have no idea he even has any of these bases. You don't know. You know about his 3 bases, and that's it. And it's 21 minutes in the game. You need to have some better map awareness. Like, send a zealot around or some shit. Go scout every once in a while. You definitely have. Because here's the thing. Here's what I think is going to happen again. I think you're going to fight him, and you're going to dive his natural again. Like, you gotta realize, like, look, there's a base right there. You could fucking totally kill it right now, but you're not, because you're not paying attention to anything on the map like that. You gotta realize, look at your money. The Terran mines out even faster than Protoss does, simply for the fact of mules. If he drops mules on these bases, so there's no money here. There's basically no money here. Again, I don't know how the fuck you guys still have money at your bases. You both just don't mine very much. But the point I'm trying to make here is how the fuck could the Terran afford to do shit like throw units away like that? That was like 25 supply of Marine Marauder. He just threw that away. How is that possible if he has no expansions? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't, again, it does not add up logically. He 100% has to have expansions, because you can't just fucking shit money out of nowhere, out of thin air. And how much money do you have? You don't have a ton of bank. Yet, you're mining off of this base, and this base, and this base. You're mining off of 3 more bases than your first 3. And you only know he's on 3 bases. So how the fuck can he keep up with you if you're mining on bases 4, 5, and 6? He must have other bases, right? That's how that should go. You should always compare yourself to your opponent. That's the easiest way to read a game of StarCraft. So the fact that you don't check bases is really fucking bad. Like you have to check bases to play a longer game. And you even see it now. Okay, good, you go kill it. Thank God. Your observer actually crossed over it, which I'm glad you killed it. That's good. Definitely keep doing that. And now what's happening is you're feeling like lured into his fucking natural. Don't fucking attack the natural. Don't attack the natural. This is the worst thing you could ever do. You're gonna throw your army away again. 100%. You just need to check the map more. And like later game scenario stages, you have to check the map more. And remember what I said? You remember what I said a second ago with those nukes? If you were to get nuked on this base, where do you think the dot would be? You think it's going to be up there? Over there? I would say the dot could be from a ghost right here. That could be like right here because it's out of range of the cannon. If he was going to nuke you on this side, it could be out of range of the cannon. Like, it's going to be out of the range of a cannon in general. And you want to know something crazy? I can already tell you where the ghost is as well. I don't even see the ghost on your screen in terms of like actually having it revealed. And I don't expect you to be able to see everything. But if you logically think where the fuck things are, if you really just think about it and like logically deduce it, where do you think the ghost would be? The ghost is either going to be up there, over here, or over here, right? Because you have cannon and cannon on the edges of your nexus. It cannot be top left, guys, just so you know. Or yeah, I see the ghost right there. Okay, you said top left. I thought you were talking about like right there. Yeah, you do see it's middle left on the bridge. You fucking see him. I know you do. I was going to get to that in a second. But you should have an idea. The point I'm trying to make here is you should have an idea where the fuck he should be. If you know what base is getting nuked and you can clearly see the red dot flashing right there, you know where to look for the dot. So if you see where the dot is, I would say the priority is not to kill the ghost unless you have an army nearby. The priority is to salvage your probes, run the fuck away from it, and then after you get your probes out of harm's way, kill the ghost. Like, you can be like, one A move right there. One A move right here, whatever. Save your probes. And then I don't expect every game for you to be like this. Like, where are you? Where is the ghost? Where is it? Where is the ghost? No, don't waste your fucking time. If you happen to just see it, then you see it. If you don't see it, who gives a fuck? Just don't lose your probes. This is what you should look for, the red dot. That's all you should look for. And then once the red dot has been spotted, it makes logical sense where the ghost could be. It could not physically be anywhere up here if the dot is right there, because this cannon would spot it. It could, and this cannon's too far away from this part. I would say the ghost could be anywhere, and right here, and this line right there, anywhere in that line, right there. This line of that bridge, like that plank right there. It could be anywhere along that, or it could be right there, on the edge of the left bridge. It could not be further right over here because this cannon would then reveal it. It would be either right there or anywhere along this plank. Logically, because that's how far away the range is for the nuke. And it's a circle. Right? So it's like taking like the fucking diameter of something. You just go, you just like do it. What's that tool called when you like use it? I can't remember what that fucking thing is called. It's like two pencils and like a metal device that you just spin it. And it's like a perfect circle. That's all it is. It's a compass? Is it? That's not a compass, is it? Is that a fucking compass? Okay. It's like I think I called it a protractor. I think that's actually what I called it. But yeah. That's it. That's all it is. You just understand like logically like where it is. Alright, we're gonna really speed through this now because you're making the same mistake repeatedly and I feel like we're kind of beating you over the head with it now. Just kill expansions, macro more. Your life's gonna be 1,000 times better. Look, you just killed his army. You just fucking killed his army. And look, he's throwing another army away at you right now. You know what you should do right now? Fucking warp in some units defensively to kill this. And if you can't do that, go home and kill it really fast. Maybe recall and kill it or just run home and kill it. And go check expansions. I already feel like what you're going to do is you're going to once again run your army up the ramp and you're going to throw all of your units away. Because you keep fighting in the worst location ever. You are obsessed with that ramp. You're obsessed. Stop trying to kill the natural of Terran and break his... Don't try to kill his production every game. Kill the economy. Kill the economy. That's like the third time you've thrown your army away there, this game. And now it's gotten to a point where you're out of money. This is going to go away very fast. You're out of new money, and you're going to run out of existing money. Like, you do have this base, which is nice. It just got nuked, unfortunately, but you do have this base. This base doesn't exist for either one of you for some weird reason. This base is still going pretty decently. So you're really mining off of two bases here in a second. But this base is definitely going to die. Nice recall on your probes. And look, you actually just killed his army, okay? Like, surprisingly, you're able to still kill this guy's army. This guy pushes with, like, the weirdest fucking armies. You know what you should do right now? Check fucking expansions. Check this again. Check, like, you even see turrets down here. Fight expansions. If you fucking run that army down to the ramp again. Oh, boy. That was huge. You just killed an expansion. This is a fresh base. Like, so, not really fresh. It's actually mined quite a lot. You didn't check it for a long time. But it's still got it's got all the patches. It's a good, healthy base. So killing that base is huge. It's amazing.
Your probes are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field
Like, you haven't even known that he's had this base, and he's like already pretty much depleted it. That's pretty unacceptable. He's like depleted the base, and you haven't even known he's had it. Other than a turret. And now all it is you're gonna die because your economy is not as good as his. That's all it is. So you've let him have too much economy for too long, and now even though you're both kind of resetting each other sometimes, he's running you over because he's active. Like, look at your bases. You're barely mining shit, and look at his bases. He's got a lot more map control. He's got this base going up. He's got this base saturated. He's rebuilding this base already. He's already mined this base out. He's already mined this base out, and that means he's had so much time to mine it. That's just a lot of time that he's had just to soak up all those resources. And now you're fucked because you will never win the game now. This is literally impossible to win now. He could A move you and you would die. You just don't have enough money. Yeah, there's not much you can do here. Like, so we talked a lot about the later stages of the game there, but just know that the biggest takeaway to take from that game is just macro, dude. You have so much idle time on your buildings. Just make a building and fucking utilize it. That is your biggest problem. You don't utilize your buildings very well. Your Nexus had so much idle time. Your opening gateways had so much idle time. Your opening Robo had a ridiculously amount of idle time. Like, you just need to utilize your buildings more. That's really all it comes down to. Because you should be maxing around like 10 minutes. And I don't think you maxed out this game until like 17. And I know there was harassment involved as well, but you have to realize as well, if you just... Here's the biggest logic bomb of all. I hope you will understand this. Because like, people don't think about it this way. If you think to yourself, well, ViBE, I didn't max out because he was so aggressive. And we traded units and stuff like that. He never actually went for a big push. He always harassed you. He harassed you. He tried to pick off workers here and there. If you just utilized your production better and you had bigger armies, you could shut down harass even faster and easier, and you would lose less as well. So your supply would ramp up faster. Like, your opponent would just throw units away at that point while he's trying to harass someone who's macroing well. So if you just did that in the opening stage of the game, you would have been at a point where you're like at 180 supply versus him being at like 100. Because this dude was so fucking technical with his like drops, Liberator harass, Widowmine harass, Ghost harass, EMPs, random Stimpact bio, or like random ragtag armies with 0 medevac support. It was very random from the Terran. And this guy is very, I'm gonna micro heavy build this shit. And his build was, it paced super slow. He did damage to you. Quite substantial amounts of damage here and there at times. And he never really like outpaced you, which means he has shit macro. Like he's over micro, no macro. That's what this guy is. So if you just macroed, you would shut down his harass easy peasy and you would just run him over. That's how it honestly would go. If I played this guy, I would tell this, if I had to play this guy JDC and I told myself I won't micro anything, I would be like, I'll bet you $500 I'll beat you in this game. And if I lose, if I win, you pay me $500. If I lose, I'll pay you $2,000. 4-to-1 odds in your favor. I guarantee I would win that. I would take that bet any day of the week because I would fucking destroy a player who plays like this through just macroing. And so should you. Just macroing. Your macro is so off point this game. It's so easy to shut down harass if you just macro. Anyways, I hope that makes sense, guys. That was a long one. Much love, Pangyarchon, for doing another analysis. And I'll post this to YouTube by tomorrow. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching it. Appreciate it. You made it to the end. Congratulations. I hope it helps anyone out there listening. Much love. See you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy and good luck in your games, guys. See ya.